How's it going, everybody? Welcome into a Victory Monday live stream here on the GG Sports Podcast. An unconvincing victory as it was, but at the end of the day, still a victory. Your Minnesota Vikings storm into Soldier Field, take down the Bears 19-13, move to 2-4 on the season. How do we feel? How are we feeling about this one? As I said,
I think,
unconvincing. It's a
yeah,
whatever win. What are your thoughts?
unconvincing. Yeah, and we'll dive in a second, but I want to do some shout outs here. We got our boy Gary in the building back.
What's going on,
He's
Gary?
back. He had a good
Welcome
time
back.
in where was it again? You say was it Alabama? Forget.
I think it was
One of
Alabama.
those states. What up? How was hanging out with One Bar and Lepicus? It looked like a good time. What up, Mello in the building? Speaking of One Bar and Lepicus, what's up, Mello? We got Minnesota Sports Talk with Dave. Let's go, Dave. We got the victory formation in here. What is up? What does it do? Like, OG Gary, what's up? Bama. Okay. I'm excited about the defense. They scored 68 points the previous two games.
The defense definitely looks solid.
Yeah, I think we've turned into a defensive team. Awesome, Gary. Awesome. Yeah, we turned into a defensive team, I guess, which was not probably on most Minnesota Vikings fans' bingo boards, but
no, not at all.
That's what it was last weekend. Again, you said unconvincing win. It is a win. A win is a win. But the thing with me that makes it unconvincing is it's the conservative play calling /play, arguably /play by our offense. When Jordan Hicks got that fumble recovery for the touchdown, we had an opportunity. It was 19-6. We had an opportunity to press on the gas and get our first win since week 1 of last year, where we just kind of dominated a team, even though the first half definitely wasn't domination, but we could have brought it to that level. And it kind of felt like maybe we would. And, the Vikings pulled off the gas right away. And I would think we went 3-and-out, like back-to-back drives there. So
in the fourth quarter, yeah.
That's like the unconvincing part, because I do think for our team, like as our Viking team, if we want to make playoffs and actually do something in playoffs, I mean, we want our offense to run on full all cylinders. Like, we can't really rely on our defense, I think, if we want to go and do anything in playoffs or even have a playoff push or whatever. Because right now we are 2-4. I mean, the season's still not over yet. If we lost to the Bears, we could have a whole different conversation in here.
Yep.
But we did beat the Bears. We're still in this. Like, I don't think all hope's lost. And even next week, no one's expecting us to beat the 49ers. If we beat the 49ers, here's a lot of hope. If we lose to the 49ers and we're 2-5, not great. But then we have the easy stretch, and we'll see what happens there. But
for sure. Unfortunately now, like, it just feels like the conservativeness is just kind of the philosophy, doesn't it? Like, because it's not like Justin Jefferson's out, which even when he was in, we still played this way. So, like, it's gotten to the point where even when Jefferson was out, I thought maybe O'Connell would take some more chances, and it just never happened. So it, unfortunately, to me, just feels like this is the type of game that O'Connell wants to play, and it's very, very unfortunate. Like, again, phenomenal leader of men, phenomenal coach, right? Kevin O'Connell knows football, knows the game inside and out. But I don't love seeing this side of him from an offensive perspective. And even if he did take a step back and allow Phillips to call the offense, it is still going to be his baby. It's still going to be his idea of how an offense should be ran. So unfortunately, unless of course this is just a way to bring the future in with the new quarterback. I don't know. Like, maybe this is their quasi way of tanking. I doubt it. But if this is what the future has to hold, and it's this, I'm a little bit worried about the future under Kevin O'Connell.
I think that's a fair take.
From an offensive perspective, from a head coaching perspective, because it's going to be just fine. From a leadership
right. Let me hit up Gary here for a second. By the way, One Bar and Lepicus are promised to make Skull Fest next year. Let's go, Mello. Absolutely, sir. Oh yeah, by the way, what up, Dan? We saw you in here. Absolutely, sir. Gary, I'm just here to serve the people over here supporting the Skull Brothers GG and Sports podcast. Let's go, Mello. Yeah, we've been loving your shit too, bro. Your the Mello Minute is fire, dude. I love that One Bar and Lepicus decided to go with that as well. I mean, it'll be interesting to actually see how that came together with both of y'all. The drop by Addison and TJ were nice chances, but we got to pull that in. I think KLC goes in his shell after sees that happen.
Maybe, but nothing terrible happened
And
because of either of them. It's just they were incomplete passes. Like, I don't
let's
know.
go. Melo with
I still just think
under the rim.
you gotta keep those shots coming, man. You can't
Yeah, you can't
that
be
was
like
like
that.
the Addison throw was like that was probably our only deep shot of the game, right?
That I can, yeah, right? Is
Feels
there,
like it.
it feels like, yeah, it does feel like it. And that
I mean,
wasn't even that deep. That was what,
right, yeah,
15 yards down the
yeah.
sideline.
But it's like it's one of those things where I'm like, Kevin, man, like even with JJ, that's the thing. It's not just because JJ's out, because even with JJ, we do the same thing. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. 2-minute drill had a shot. Yeah, I mean, to TJ. Yeah.
TJ,
I don't
yeah.
know. It's just
Oh yeah, he did have that shot to TJ. That was right.
like you do just got to take the foot and put it on the throat eventually, Kevin. And he just doesn't do it. And this it allowed the Bears to have a legitimate chance to win the game at the end. And it was just
Yeah.
with
No, you
Tyson
should not
Badgett
do that.
leading them at quarterback,
It's
undrafted
just
free agent rookie quarterback. Like, what are we
we
doing?
we waste momentum. It feels like we like in that play, like that was massive momentum. 19-6. We stopped them right away on their next drive, and then we go out there and we did what we did, like 3 and out. And it's just, and I am going to not just blame it on KOC. I think there is some for conservative playing. It's KOC and then the guy who starts with the ball in his hands, and you have to put a little bit of the conservative blame on Kirk Cousins as well.
I would agree, like because there was a couple plays where he had plenty of time, and he still just took
goes
that
for a dump
short
off,
check down.
and he goes for the dump off.
I'm not gonna put it all.
I'm not
going
gonna
to
put it
I
all
do
on.
feel like the
No,
offense is conservative as a whole, but obviously yes, like I think there are, like you said, maybe it is, and
they're made for each other.
Guys where it's like, tunnel vision. So maybe it is one of those things. Like this is what Kevin called. He always says, be sure to check the ball down if you have to. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it, but I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, I think there definitely is, because I saw multiple times yesterday where it's like Kirk. Yeah, and again, we're not seeing down the field from behind him. So maybe there is nobody open, and maybe the check down. Because I mean, obviously Kirk isn't just avoiding receivers downfield, right? We know that if there's someone open, he's going to take the opportunity. But also but yeah, I mean, I think there are also plenty of times where he just doesn't, where maybe he does just take that short instead of, because I mean, part of it is the fact that he gets hit so much. It might be getting into his head, which that's no excuse for a 10-year veteran quarterback. Like,
well, and it doesn't,
and he's so good, but it's so weird because he's so good about standing in there and taking the hits.
Right.
I don't know. It would be really interesting to be inside the mind of Kirk Cousins and just to be in the headset to see if that's the play call. So I think someone yesterday on Bleacher Report brought up, like, is he checking out of the pass plays? Is Kirk the one checking out of pass plays into run plays?
And some people say he is going up to the line. He's going up to the line and calling plays, and it ends up being a run play. Yeah, we don't have headsets. We can't hear what's going on in there. But yeah, I mean, that's I just
that could also be he trusts KJ a lot, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think that's
too much.
That's a great point.
He needs to get more. He needs to trust Addison a little bit more. They just need more plays made specifically for Addison. What up, Justin? We got Justin in here. Anybody who's watching right now and who is going to be, or who's watching this after the fact, go and subscribe to Purple and Gopher Days and Minnesota Sports Talk. Also go subscribe to the Mello Show on here as well. Mello will be on Under the Lights with Minnesota Sports Talks and Justin with Purple and Gopher Days tomorrow. So definitely tap into that as well.
And Dave, I think that could also be a big part of it too, adjusting the blocking up at the line, which I think is also
which it definitely could be, be. But back to what Dave said up here, Madison is the focus. Madison is the focus of our offense, and we'll get more into that because it does seem like we just run the ball. We've been running the ball too often. I think, obviously, I've been complaining about it kind of a lot.
I mean, yesterday, it wasn't working, and that's the thing. Like, I understand you still have to do it, but there are plenty of times where even I'm looking at TV like, what are we 2nd and 10? Of course we're going to run the ball here. Everyone knows that. What are we actually doing it for?
Exactly, Dave. Exactly. I don't know what KOC.
By the way, Kirk tried to make him a focal point of that one play. And then they throw the flag, which was complete and utter BS. That was the worst. That was the worst intentional grounding flag I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I know. He was right there. Yeah, that was crazy.
It's stupid.
That was crazy.
It's stupid.
But yeah, dude, I don't know. It's just that's the thing with the running thing that just irritates me though, because that's what we did. I think we ran twice in a row. We ran twice in a row after the Hicks pickup, fumble, touchdown, or whatever. We stopped them, and then we get the ball back. I think we ran the first 2 plays in that instead of just pushing the ball down the field. and scoring a touchdown. And like what you said, like it is concerning even for the future because
these are the guys that are going to lead the next quarterback.
Yeah, like exactly. And we should press on the gas, and we don't see that from this offense at all unless we are losing or the 2-minute warning. Of course, the 2-minute warning, I think we go down the field quite a bit at the 2-minute warning. I would say Kirk Cousins is fantastic at when it's 2-minute warning because he has to go down and score. You have no reason to get down there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's quick. It's going down. It's like, I don't know, when we're losing or 2-minute warning, if there's a fire lit under our ass, all of a sudden all our players are getting open and we're throwing the ball 10 yards down the field every time.
Don't allow Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins to think. Just say you got to go out there and do. That's when they're at their best. But like, because here's the thing: at the end of the day,
you got to convince them that they're down in points.
6 minutes, 44 seconds left in the third quarter. Jordan Hicks or who forced the fumble again? Was it Hicks who forced? No, it was Metellus. Metellus forced the fumble.
Yeah,
Hicks picks it up, brings it back, touchdown. You're up 19-6. That is a type of play that most teams take as okay, we got this. Now we just put the foot down, right? And at that point, Kevin O'Connell does that. They get the ball back. We get the ball. I believe they punt, and then Kevin O'Connell goes back into the shell. It's like, seriously, those plays, a defensive touchdown halfway through the third quarter, and you're up 2 scores. That's a time to put your foot down. That is okay. We got them right where we want them. That's supposed to be debilitating. They got better after that. The Bears did, especially after Badgett came in, and it's just,
I know. Like you have to, I think it's a very important as a quarterback. All right. I need to stop saying quarterback, but it is true. Quarterback and coach. And I would say a team as a whole if momentum is hanging on your side, you got to take advantage of that as much as possible. And it does just feel like it's something our team hasn't done. Unless we're down and we're like gaining momentum. But if we're like we're winning a game and we got the momentum to press on the gas and we come out and play conservative, I don't know. We can talk about this every single week because it's literally the same problem every time.
Right. And it's defensively too, because I feel like we did get a little softer defensively going into after that play was over, after we scored that touchdown. So
I think the next time we got the ball, we started.
Well, I think that is true.
I forget it. Was it that one or was it the time after that?
Well, I don't think it was at the 4 because that was, I think the drive he's talking about was where Kirk got the intentional grounding call, because that backed us up to like 2nd and 20 at our own 10 or something like that. I don't know. I believe the turnovers, which is fair because this team, and that's and he is a second-year head coach, and I believe in Kevin O'Connell as a head coach. I want the offensive philosophy to be a little more aggressive because that. At the end of the day, that is what we thought we were getting when we hired him. We thought we were going to get because last year, for the most part, I mean, not middle of the game, not really, but there were times when we were aggressive. Kirk was slinging the ball. He was taking chances downfield. Like, I remember we were both watching the Washington game. It's like, hey, Kirk threw an interception. We're like, good. He took a shot to the end zone and threw a pick. Who cares? Like, that's what we wanted. And we felt like last year that we were taking steps in the right direction. And now it just, I don't see it this year. This year, it almost looks like we've reverted back to Zimmer ball. And that's the frustrating. Like, we got rid of Zimmer because this was the offense he ran.
Yeah.
So
one thing I was going to mention, there was that drive too, where they went for it on 4th down and we stopped the defense stopped them on 4th down and we were sitting midfield. And I think we went 3 and out on that as well.
I believe so. I believe you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
Was that the one where he took a 57, where we took the shot at the 57 yarder?
Yeah. I believe so. I don't remember exactly, actually.
But it's like,
I don't remember if that's exactly how that worked.
You shouldn't need to kick the 57 yarder there when you have the ball at midfield. You know, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it is like Zimmer takes over his body when you take the lead. I know it comes down to you're playing not to lose instead of playing to win. I don't know. It's just so crazy when you go and watch Miami and they'll try to stack as many points as they can on someone's head. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. You guys know how our players grade out this game. Yeah, I'm going to actually bring that up in a second here. 8:20 the game, right? You going live? Wait, 8:20 the game, right? You going live? What are you talking, Milo? Are you? Oh, okay. Never mind. Preparing for 8:20. Gotcha.
That's why you don't read every comment. You confuse yourself. Just kidding.
Yep.
Kid, of course.
Anyways, I'm going to bring up the PFF stuff right now. Let's see. I haven't looked at them yet. I kind of wait for this show to kind of just give an idea. I'm assuming we'll see Jordan Hicks should be pretty high on there. We're also going to be doing our winners and losers.
Jordan Hicks, by the way. Jordan Hicks might be team MVP this year.
Definitely
he's been playing fantastic.
Well, not definitely, but definitely could.
I mean, Daniil's probably defense MVP, but still.
All right, give me 1 second here. Let me get these up. Defense. All right, here we go. All right. Actually, before moving on here, everybody in here, another show, another Justin Jefferson rookie card. I know he's injured. Hey, we did get a dub. If we can keep him up, it'll be interesting when he comes back. But we're giving this away. Hashtag Skull in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you haven't already. Definitely like the video. We appreciate it big time. But get those hashtag Skulls in here.
By the way, did
like
you know?
all that
did you
stuff.
know Quasi was in Notre Dame on Saturday night watching Caleb Williams play quarterback?
Yeah, of course, it was the game that Caleb Williams fell off.
That's it. He is off the draft board. He is
off the draft board. Caleb Williams sucks. It's official. Of course, you saw everybody with their pitchforks. Everyone with their pitchforks ready to say, I knew Caleb Williams wasn't that good.
Game, and it's just like his team, by the way, is terrible. He has no defense. He is the team.
You rather have Penix? I'm still on
really
Caleb.
Good on Saturday. That game was I didn't get to catch the end of it, but that game was fantastic.
Penix is definitely favorite for Heisman. He's favorite for Heisman, but man, Caleb Williams just can do stuff that
he's limited by the ACL tears. He's limited by the knee injuries for sure, but
we'll see. It'll be interesting because he's someone that I think we'll see how the draft process goes out. And it's so early. We talk about quarterbacks and where we're going to be. Who knows where they're going to be? But right now, Penix is expected to be like a early second round pick or whatever. But yeah, it'll be interesting. But I think we'll for sure have a new quarterback. Because he was probably scouting a third string safety.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking
quarterback class. Absolutely. Dan's a JJ McCarthy guy. Okay.
I think a lot of people are liking JJ. I have to do my own due diligence. I watched some of these parts of these games, but I haven't really looked into these players yet.
So far, I've watched because I watched Quinn Ewers 2 weeks ago in the Red River rivalry, and then I watched Bo Nix and Penix in the game on Saturday. And then I watched the second half of the North Carolina game, watched Drake May, who, by the way, Drake May has an absolute rocket of an arm, man. That guy's going to be something. That guy's got all the physical traits needed.
All right, let's dive into this PFF grades real quick. So we got Josh Oliver on the top here.
Run block
from being at the bottom last week, he's at the top this week, but 91.5 offense. But that's interesting with a 38.1 pass block, 54.4 pass, and 88 run block. That's interesting. I wonder where the rest of his grade came out to be 91.5. But according to BFF, good grade by Josh Oliver. Christian Darrisaw, 88.5.3.
Did you see? By the way, did you see that video of Darrisaw on one of the outside runs for Madison destroying two defenders? Yeah, I saw that circulating on Twitter about an hour ago.
Dang, I know. I heard he's graded as like the top tackle right now. But yeah, I mean, Christian Darrisaw's a stud, and so far he's been healthy for the most part this season. So fingers crossed. It'd be nice to see a fully healthy season from him, even if it's not the best Viking season.
Dan, who doesn't?
Yeah.
McCarthy looked good against the Gophers. Who doesn't, unfortunately?
Yeah. Josh Oliver missed 2 huge blocks. Yeah, I don't know. PFF ain't perfect. PFF is not perfect. We all know that. But at least they give you a number based on how they think a player plays, and there's no other way you can get a number on how good you think a player played. So I mean, you got to respect PFF to some extent. I think I do anyways. We got Garrett Bradbury 71.4, Cam Akers 68.4. We'll probably talk about him more later. 67.2 from Ezra Cleveland. The boy CJ with that 63. Tristan Jackson, he got in for 4. KJ 58.7. Addison 58.1. TJ Hawkins, what's that? Dalton Reisner, he ended up with a 56
sighting yesterday.
Yeah, he did better than Ed Ingram. Alexander Madison, 51.4. What did he give him? Pass 29.7. Pass block 38. Run 68.3. Okay. So let's go check out the defense. That's one I am a little bit more interested for this game specifically. So we got Theo Jackson with an 89.7, only 34 total, but that ain't terrible. All right, Jordan Hicks with an 80.3, well-deserved there. Well-deserved. Cam Bynum, 77.3, still having a very solid season. Ivan Pace Jr. with a 77.2, 88.8 in the pass rush. And he has what? He still only has 1 sack on the season, though. We need
I think
to
so.
see him get to the quarterback.
But I think I
Josh
was watching.
McCown.
I think someone said he missed a couple tackles yesterday, though.
Okay. Yeah, I
Which
did
will
see.
happen.
There was one in. I forgot what it was, but there's one that I remember seeing him miss it. Harrison Smith 71.3, Jaquelin Roy 69. I mean, this is pretty good
Nice.
for grades, but 69.9. I know people are complaining because they're thinking Jaquelin Roy should start eating the snaps out of Dean Lowry. So, I mean, it'll be interesting. We'll see what his grade is. 69.1, Bullard, Andrew Booth Jr. I guess he only
Oh, no,
allowed
JJ. Thanks for hopping
7
in.
yards or something. Huh?
Said it's going. JJ's here. What's going on, man?
What's up, JJ? What's up? What's up? Troy Dye, 67.9. Caleb Evans, 67.2. Tonga. Oh, I didn't even know Tonga was playing. No, I didn't. But I'm surprised that he even got dressed. He was out for the first couple games. Harrison Phillips, even though he did have a sack, 65.2. Hunter had 2 sacks, 64.5. Andre Carter got some snaps in here. It's nice to see, 60.7, whatever. Mekhi Blackman. Where is Lowry? Lowry, 46.1. Brian Asamoah, man, 43.6. He did have 1 pass, or what was it? A hurry, I believe, right? Yeah, he had 1 hurry. I remember seeing that.
He's been. I mean, that
Jones.
one's been probably the most disappointing part of the season. So, well, no, that's a lie. From a player perspective, that one's been one that's been disappointing to me for sure.
Not seeing Brian Asamoah.
Yeah,
because we thought
for good reason.
We were expected. Yeah, I mean, and Ivan Pacer's been that guy.
Hicks has been
Davenport failed the school name. Davenport with the injury.
Yeah,
PFF
that was unfortunate. The Davenport injury, and
Forget
it
PFF.
sounds like
Hicks is balling this year. Everyone wanted to get rid of him.
That is true. They want to get rid of him. But
PFF did give him a good grade though.
It sounds like Davenport's injury is pretty significant at this point as well. From what they made it sound like.
Oh, really? I didn't even look into it.
I think
I'm actually close to being
Kevin O'Connell kind of made it sound like he'll be out for a little bit, but it's unfortunate. He is one of those guys that I mean, you signed him because of what he could be when healthy, and he hasn't been. And we saw what he could be when healthy, and he's just not, unfortunately. So
yeah, and when healthy, he's definitely a positive to this team. I mean, when he's healthy, you want him out there, but obviously, you got to be healthy. Otherwise, you're not help out at all.
Yeah,
guys, Byron Murphy wears crazy things. What are you talking about, JJ? What was he wearing? I didn't actually see anything like that. Yeah, Murphy stepped up this week, which was nice to see after kind of that. Our whole actually, speaking of that, let's get
Evans
into
looks solid too. Actually,
one thing I know JJ is in here, so he's always excited about this. Giving away the Justin Jefferson rookie card. Get those hashtag skulls in the comments. Talking to you, JJ. Get those hashtag skulls in the comments.
Yeah, Dave. I mean, I'm sure it's just whatever, because that ankle already wasn't 100% to begin with, so I'm sure it was just an ankle.
Well, it was his other ankle, actually.
Was it? I thought it was the same one.
No, it wasn't. Ugh. They found out it was his opposite one. I think Booth played lit a fire under Evans. Evans was looking good out there. Hey, what up, Zoe? What up? Hey, what up, Johnny? Christian Darrison is purple wild beast. Oh, dude, he is. I am so glad we have. That's why it's like kind of like you gotta sign JJ and you gotta sign Christian Darrison. Otherwise, everybody else who like is deserving of an extension, even though I really like Daniil Hunter, and if we want to be a good team, it's probably good to have him. But those two are like you got even over TJ Hawkinson, which is easy to say now since he hasn't had the best year so far. Yeah. But Darrison and JJ, like pay them 100%.
I honestly think I think by the trade deadline, if we are out of it, I do think Daniil ends up getting traded somewhere. Unfortunately, I don't. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get much for him. Because when you're trying to sell, obviously you don't get a ton, unfortunately. But
JJ and Kirk, so much y'all gambling too much on unknown. Come on. Wait, JJ and Kirk, y'all gambling too much. What exactly do you mean, Mel? JJ and Kirk's gambling?
They're gambling? Oh boy. You heard it here first, people. I'm kidding.
All right, we're gonna jump into our winners and losers to this game. Actually, no, I'm gonna put on. I keep forgetting to do that.
Yeah. No, don't bring that up. We can't talk about that for the next 2 hours, Mello. We cannot talk about that for the next 2 hours.
I'll pass a hard pass on the Kirk extension, but give me JJ all day. what's a Byron Murphy wears those long white socks and wore uh, I can't even say that word.
Balaclava face mask.
Balaclava. Oh yeah, in the dome in the Panthers
Like
game.
little
Mellow,
things with the face mask.
I can't. Kirk. No matter even what regardless what everybody thinks about Kirk, unless it's for a really good deal and he does accept a trade clause, I'd feel a little bit better about keeping him around. But other than that, I just think it's time to move on and go a different direction in general when it comes to Kirk Cousins.
But that can be a
Even if he's
conversation.
solid,
That
whatever.
can be a conversation.
The conversation. But let's go for the winners and losers from this game. Let's start here with our losers. And that is actually, let me start this over again because I'm going to switch the background here. I like this one. There we go. There we go. Let's start with our losers from this game, starting with our number 3 loser, and that is the run defense. I put Dean Lowry here, but it is our run defense. Again, do you have the stats up still, Casey?
Yeah. Yep. 36 carries, 162 yards in total, 4.5 per carry. Deontay Foreman, lead rusher, 15 carries, 65 yards, 4.3 per carry. Justin Fields let him get out for 8 rushes, 46 yards. Yeah, not great, unfortunately. And like Deontay Foreman ain't anything, and Justin Fields just letting Justin Fields get loose was shouldn't say loose. He didn't necessarily get loose, but letting him get anywhere is just, I don't know, man. It was frustrating.
And this is another thing because we saw the last time we saw our run defense get really beat up, much worse than this probably, but was it that Eagles game? And it was kind of the idea that, we're just trying to contain the quarterback and Jalen Hurts. And this is again,
after him a little.
We're trying to contain Fields here, but we shouldn't be so worried about him throwing the ball. But even when Justin Fields went out, Foreman was still just getting yards on us. And I don't know if our defense was tired towards the end of the game or what, but our run defense definitely a low for this game.
Yeah. By the way, Justin Fields, everyone's preseason MVP, 6 of 10, 58 yards, 1 pick before he got hurt.
What's that?
So Justin Fields was 6 of 10 for 58 yards.
Oh yeah.
Before he got hurt, everybody's preseason MVP. Like, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, and we'll get actually to that eventually as well. But number 3 for winners, we just put coverage in general. What did we have here? We ended up with allowing only 140 yards.
Yeah.
140 yards and had 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns thrown. That was it was huge to see from our pass defense. I think obviously we didn't have much to worry about. I'm not worried about Justin Fields. We already talked about it. And I'm also not worried about other than DJ Moore. He's kind of the guy that you do have to worry about. And at the end of the game, you did see a little bit of him because he still ended up with 5 catches for 51 yards. But otherwise, fantastic play by our coverage. And I mean, you probably could put Brian Flores on this in total by himself. But yeah.
Absolutely. The defense, like, there's a reason everyone's saying we look more like a defensive team than an offensive team now, right? I mean, yeah, again, Justin Fields ain't much. We did allow Tyson Badgett to go 10 for 14 for 83 yards, so that's not great. 1 interception, which was technically, they got pressure, knocked the ball kind of out of his hands, threw a wobbler, and that's how we got the interception with Byron Murphy there. Yeah, I mean, they looked pretty solid. I mean, I thought Caleb Evans played well. Byron Murphy obviously had a pretty solid game as well. But
yeah,
I mean, obviously, again, we do need to temper expectations. This is only the Bears, which the only weapon they have is DJ Moore. But we did hold him to 5 catches, 51 yards, and a lot of that was in that fourth quarter. So not too bad. I will take it. It's a stepping stone of what this defense can do when everything's clicking.
Exactly. Which is exciting to see because it's complete opposite of what we saw last year. So that's like the big positive this season is you do feel like our defense is taking strides compared to last season. So that's pretty sweet. Number 2 on our down list, and it's Alexander Mattison. And this is something that we talked about earlier is I don't know why we run the ball so much. That's the thing with Alexander Mattison too, is like, yeah, he is the kind of running back that I think can take a lot of carries, kind of like what the Lions like to do with Montgomery. But I just I'm not sure Alexander Mattison is a running back 1 material. I mean, he ended up with 18 carries for 44 yards. And he also had another dropped pass. He did have 4 catches for 28 yards, but I think he had like 7 targets. Yeah, 18 carries, 44 yards, 2.4 average, and Cam Akers, and I guess his longest run was 8 yards. Cam Akers had 1 carry for 8
For 8
yards.
yards. Yeah.
And you
And
can
here's
just see the difference in speed from Cam Akers. Even
right.
if you don't want to give Cam Akers, he doesn't need the starting job or anything like that.
Ron
Like,
Barber.
I was surprised we came into this game and we only gave Cam Akers 1 carry.
Right. Here's my thoughts on Madison, right? I'm happy we signed him. I'm happy he got his chance to try to show he can be a number 1 back. And again, maybe with a better offensive line, it would be different, but the offensive line has been relatively solid this year. And like, well, this is one of those, like you can't, like, you want to look at it and be like, well, the offensive line isn't whatever, right? And you can make the same arguments with Kirk as well on some of the things we talked about earlier with him. But when yeah, and that's kind of part of it with Madison. You can tell that it's just the reason that him and Prime Cook were such a good 1-2 punch was because Cook was more of the dancer, juked around until he found the hole and go, where Madison was that one cut type of guy. So a team that's preparing for a Delvin Cook and then a Madison comes in, it is going to be completely different. And that's why I think he found a lot of success there. And there wasn't a lot of film on it. But now that there is, you can tell it. Like Joey Hawkins said, there isn't a lot of vision there. He doesn't necessarily see the hole. And when he does, he doesn't have that initial burst to get there, right? And Delvin,
Right.
if we brought Delvin back this year, it would be the same thing because Delvin doesn't have that burst anymore either. But you know who does have that burst? Cam Akers. We've seen it in the game, in the times he's got into the game, especially with how little he's played these last 2 years. The legs are fresh, right? So Madison, again,
Yeah.
I'm happy that he got the opportunity, but maybe on a better team, it'd be different. But right now, it's just he's showing us he's not a running back 1. And I think he's a very good, much like KJ Osborne, he's a very good running back 2 when you have a more shifty Cam Akers like running back 1. So I love Madison. I think he's a hard worker and he's good, but he's not. He is proving he's on this team at least, and this is all we know about him. So you have to kind of take this as what it is. He might not be a prime RB1 candidate. He might be, I think he kind of is what he is. He's a great change of pace bruiser type back. He's not, it's unfortunate, but I think that's the truth.
I do think going forward, we should just see some more Cam Akers. Like you said, even the vision, Cam Akers' vision, he had 1 run and you could just see more vision from him in that 1 run than the whole time out of Madison. And just the speed, like there's been a couple times already with Akers where it's just he was a foot tackle away from breaking a huge run, and that's one thing we are missing. And people talk about Delvin Cook, like, oh yeah, see, I told you we'd miss Delvin Cook because Delvin Cook can break a game wide open at any moment. Even though, to be fair to that, Delvin Cook hasn't been able to do anything like that this year, anyways. But it is true, like we don't have that player on this team from a running perspective that can break one open out of nowhere, and that's going to be the big thing. And like Kareem Hunt, but and that's a big thing, is that Akers has that potentially, and Akers has showed it even with the Rams. I don't know why he got put in the doghouse the way he did, but it's obvious that he's able to do that, and I don't see why you don't just put the ball in those type of players' hands more, no matter what, because that can change a game at one instance. And we haven't, outside of Jordan Addison and his deep throws, and then maybe in a couple Justin Jefferson catches, we haven't had any of those really big game breaking plays yet this season that we've been seeing from our running back position since we've been spoiled with Adrian Peterson in 2007. So
what's our longest run this year? I don't even know, to be
but
real,
it can't be that long. Like probably like 25 yards or something. We definitely don't have a long touchdown. Not like a really long touchdown for sure. So I don't know. We need to figure that out.
And I think that's part of what's maybe slowing down the pass game too, is the inefficiency of the run game. And it goes both ways as well. So I don't know. It's frustrating, man. And I think it definitely is kind of part of the reason that's holding this offense back. And I hate to say it, because again, I do like Alexander Madison, and I think he's a good running back. But
and not just, I mean, our community loves Alexander Madison.
Absolutely.
We know his dad and that whole thing. So it's
and
like,
this isn't supposed to be a slight. Like it sounds like a slight, but I mean, there's a ton of players that would kill to be a good complement running back, but
right.
I don't know. It's just kind of
right. It is what it is, but number 2 on the up list, let's go back to some positivities here, and that is the pass rush. Starting with Danielle Hunter, who had 2 sacks, but we had 5 or 6 sacks overall here. 2 by Danielle Hunter, 1 by Harrison Phillips, 1 by DJ Wonnum, and another by Josh Metellus, which was the strip sack, 5 sacks. And then we also had 2 tackles for a loss, 2 tackles for loss from Danielle Hunter, but we had 6 tackles of loss overall. Our pass rush showed up yesterday, and that's another reason why I do think, and because we've been talking about the whole time, like we've been getting some pass rush. I think we're the number 1 blitzing team in the entire NFL. We just have not been able to get to the quarterback, and we finally were able to get home this game, and that's huge. And that was huge for our secondary as well, because we already had them on this list, but a lot of that could have came from our pass rush, and that was huge. I mean, that strip sack with Jordan Hicks, game breaker. That's something we were hoping from this beginning of the season. Something we missed last season was those kind of plays from our defense. And now we're just missing them from our offense, which makes no sense. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, Daniil, Daniil's making his case to make some money next year, right? I think he has 7 sacks right now. I think I should have looked up where that ranks in the league. I know he's up there. But whether it's here, whether it's somewhere else, whether he gets traded, I mean, he's gonna get that big contract he's been looking for the last 4 seasons finally. And he's been playing well this year, man. And he's not, again, I don't put him up in the stratosphere of Nick Bosa or TJ Watt, but I definitely put him in that, obviously near the top of that next tier. So
yeah, that's kind of where I'm as well. I'm going to look real quick to see where he is at for sacks. It'll take me too long. All right, we'll come back to that. I'll come back to that after we're done here. Remind me to go back and see what Danielle Hunter is. Hey, let's go. Joe Hoka's in the building. What up, dude? Let's go, boys. Hey, anybody who watches who's big into DraftKings, sports betting, anything like that, I get all my information. You guys seen me do some of that on our show here. I get all of that from Joe Hoka, my guy over there. Go check him out. He has the best DraftKings gambling, sports betting content out here on the internet. So everybody should go check him out. That's my guy right there. Definitely go check him out. So number 1 on the down is conservative play calling. I think this is obvious. We were talking about this earlier into this episode, and with Kevin O'Connell. And I mean, this is again, Kevin O'Connell and kind of Kirk Cousins. I don't know which one is, I think they're made for each other. They both can, if they have to play aggressive, they both get down the field. Play calling is creative. All that stuff is just working out great. And then when we're winning or we don't need to play aggressive anymore, we stall. We have the play calling is just too conservative. And Kirk Cousins seems to also play conservative. And in this game specifically, like we already said, Jordan Hicks got the fumble recovery, went for the touchdown. All the momentum was in our favor. We stopped the Bears on the next drive, had a chance to go down the field and hopefully score more points to get that big lead that we've been waiting for since week 1 of the Packers. And again, we went 3-0, I think 2 drives back to back instead of dropping more points on their heads. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just, like I said, it's frustrating.
A defensive touchdown with 6 minutes, 44 seconds left to go in third quarter, where they put you up by 2 scores, is supposed to be your stomp on the throat moment, right? That's a debilitating play to happen to an opposing offense. And then you proceed to stop them again, and you just can't do anything with it. That's where it gets frustrating. And eventually, where I want to, I mean, we won't get too deep into the conversation. Where I want to put more of the blame on O'Connell is because if he's tired of, if Kirk does check into the more conservative plays or does the more conservative thing, eventually you as the head coach, if you don't like it, you need to put your foot down and stop it. And that's the biggest question about O'Connell is, can he find that extra gear and be a little bit not Mr. Nice Guy with things and put his foot down and make those calls and take something like, Kirk, you can't call checks anymore because you're checking out of these plays. Or you're doing this, you're doing that. You can't, you got to take some shots. Eventually you're the head coach and that's what you want to do. You need to implement that. And we haven't seen it yet. So again, that's where, is the quarterback a leader on the team to a certain extent? Absolutely. But the head coach is even more. The head coach is supposed to be the one that sets the tone, and he's just not doing that, unfortunately.
Yeah. And like what you mentioned, this is something even last year we were worried about, because even though we came back in these games and we ended up 13-4, it was always coming back. It was never leading and then beating a team by more than 1 score. Obviously, I mean, we're notorious for having 11 games by 1 score and winning all of them. So that's something that's been since last year. And like you said, that is something concerning moving forward here is, are we going to always be conservative and never press on the gas when we should? Are we going to always play to not lose? Same with the whole Zimmer thing. Are we going to always play to not lose instead of, going out and just winning games? Right. And I just don't see how, once you get to playoffs, if you do make it to playoffs, how you can play like that. I think you have to always play to win. You have to go out and try to, dominate the best you can. And we haven't done that single time since week 1 of last year against the Packers. And this was the game that could have happened. And we decided to pull off the gas. So yeah, man, frustrating on that.
It is absolutely frustrating.
But we'll end here with our number 1 winner, and that is Jordan Hicks, who absolutely balled out with a really nice interception. I mean, the ball got tipped in the air, but still really nice interception by your middle line or your inside linebacker. And then, of course,
he had the fumble recovery.
He had both.
The interception? The interception was Murphy. Oh, yeah, he did have an interception.
He did have an interception. Right. Yeah. He had the botched ball interception, and then he had picked up the strip sack by Metellus and brought that to the house, which really changed the whole game for the Vikings. Obviously, our offense could have took better advantage of it. But yeah, big game by Jordan Hicks.
And Jordan Hicks has been solid all year long. Like last year, everyone wanted him gone. They said he's going to be the odd man out. Surprise cut going into the season. And I mean, obviously, he's a vet. He heard that, and he's been just absolutely balling. I think he's been one of the best players on the defense. I guess from an expectation standpoint, but yeah, man,
easily.
Like, he's been phenomenal.
You could argue he's the MVP of the defense so far.
Right. There's a reason why he got the captaincy this year for sure. So I love to see it. And again, if you do look to sell, all this is doing is increasing his trade value. So I like it. Yeah. But yeah, Jordan Hicks has been playing phenomenally. But
yeah, that's it for the ups and downs of last game. Let me hit up some of these comments. Sorry, I was trying to get through those before we tapped into here too much here. JJ, we'll be trying to rent. Yeah, I hit you up earlier, man. We got another Justin Jefferson rookie card. Get those hashtag skulls in the comments for your chance to win this at the end of the show.
Absolutely.
Gary, let's be honest. Our D won this game. 100%.
Sure. Yes.
100%.
Yes, they did. Even despite their best efforts trying to let Tyson Bagent storm down the field. At the end of the game.
I know the rookie quarterback definitely. I know it didn't end the way we wanted to. That's moral of the story is again moral of the season is even for our wins, it's unconvincing win against the Panthers, against Bears, who are 2 of the worst teams in the entire NFL, and you barely get the W in here. So
barely get the W.
Barely.
Good one. Good
one. You barely get it. There's JJ with the hashtag goals. I don't know, man. It's just frustrating. It's going to be interesting to see what we do against this Niners team. But I do think if we don't see more aggressive play calling, it just feels like it's just going to stay a lot of the same. Yeah. So it's hard for me to believe that we'll come in and beat a 49ers team. But even if we do, which will be great, and I think we all can have hope, but until we see us just go and stomp a team out, it's hard for me to believe that we're going to turn things around and actually, be a playoff, like when JJ comes back and actually be a good playoff team and not just squeak into playoffs and lose in the first round. So we'll see on that. But
like for you, the draft people out there, the worst case scenario from this game is the fact we were not convinced about our team because of the win, and the Bears are definitely in the driver's seat for the top 2 picks this year. So
yeah,
that's what it is. Again, I guess now the Vikings are sitting like 7th in the draft order.
We're sitting at 7th, so we dropped 3. And there's 6? There's 6, 1, and 5 teams, or 5 or 6. There's 5 or 6, 1 and 5 teams right now, which is got to be that's pretty insane, right?
That is.
And I don't know if there's any. Is there any undefeated teams now with Philly and 49ers losing?
They were the
last. So we're already know. That's crazy.
I know.
Interesting season, I think. Interesting season.
But like that's the thing, like. It's going to be because like you can tell there's a lot of teams that are going to want a quarterback this year, and there are a ton of quarterbacks to be had. This is going to be a very interesting draft. I think you're going to see like right now people are talking like, oh, there'll be like 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. I think that number is going to jump up considerably the closer we get to the draft, honestly. So it'll be interesting. There's quarterbacks to be had, man. You can get good ones in the second round even this year. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, not just the Vikings, but I mean, let's be real. If you're watching a draft where the number 1 pick is like an offensive tackle or a defensive lineman, you're bored, right? Like this is what the NFL wants. They want teams that need quarterbacks and quarterbacks to be had coming into a draft. This is what's going to add intrigue, right? Because even like the Bears, it's going to be interesting. I mean, this is a Vikings channel. We'll talk about the Bears for a second, though. If the Bears somehow end up like we all thought the Cardinals would with the number 1 and 2 pick this year, like yes, the smart move would be you grab Caleb Williams, you grab Marvin Harrison Jr., you put him with DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney, and that offense is absolutely explosive, right? But if a team at number 3 wants a quarterback, do you really and let's say a team is in love with Drake May at 2, like, can you how much a team's gonna have to trade to jump with Chicago? Like I was watching Purple for the Win today. It said if Denver ends up at pick 3, they might even trade from 3 to 2 to make sure that nobody jumps them to get Drake May. It's like it's gonna be interesting if the Bears have 1 and 2, they'll have every option open to them if they want. So it's gonna be
and they probably, I mean, the thing is with Drake May and Caleb Williams there, they can go and grab a quarterback, and like you said, like they'll be able to get multiple first. If they might have to move on from Marvin Harrison, like they might not get that unless they move back one or whatever, which is definitely possible.
Denver, that'd be huge for them. Yeah,
but imagine they could
get as much, but
that's enough. Drake May has enough talent where someone would be willing to drop a 3 first-round picks on him if they're in the middle of the draft. So they'd get killed, and especially imagine if they just decided they wanted to keep Justin Fields and they traded back with both those picks. I mean, it does suck that the Bears have to be the ones in our division. And I wish Houston.
He'll.
Oh no, we might be dealing with Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. for the next.
What if he just says, "Screw it, I'm drafting them both, and I'll keep the best one and trade the other"? What if he does that? What if he takes Caleb Williams and Drake May?
That'd be crazy. See, that's smart. That's what we need to see Quezzy do. Just get as many quarterbacks as you can and have them compete.
Trade away the other one.
Cam Akers just simply needs to play more. What up, Dylan, by the way? I've been in support of KOC all season, but this needs to happen. Yeah, we were talking about him earlier. He had 1 touch for 8 yards, and Madison had 18 touches for, what was it, around 50 yards, less than 50 yards, 40-something yards, and his most he got was 8 yards in 18 touches. So I think, no question, Dylan. We need to see some more Cam Akers. We need speed out of the backfield, and I'm surprised that we don't. I'm just surprised that we only seen him once. I just think, like, I get it. We like Madison, and KOC and all of them like Madison, but you gotta go. You got to make those tough decisions as a coach and bring in the player that might be better. At least give them some touches so you can find out. And that's something that I've been concerned about with KJ and Jordan Addison. I mean, we've talked about it with Reisner and either Ed Ingram and Ezra Cleveland, and now Cam Akers and Madison. So we need to see KOC making those decisions, those tough decisions that you might have to do. You might have to get up, stop being biased, and give more playing time to the players that deserve it. And so far, I think Cam Akers definitely deserves more touches than 1. Jordan Addison should have more snaps than KJ Osborne, in my opinion. And you should be creating more plays for Jordan Addison in general. And hopefully going forward, we do, but we've been saying that for a while.
Our longest run this year, 17 yards.
17 yards by Madison,
Alexander
probably.
Madison had a 17-yard run. That's his longest.
His longest.
Nuts. That's
out of what we're 5 games in?
17.
6 games in. 6 games into the season, and 17 yards is our longest run. And you got a guy who's fast. You got a guy who last season, in the last 3 games for the Rams, I think he had like the best fantasy output in the entire league.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Ugh. That's nuts, man.
He could have recovered the fumble for us when Kirk fumbled. Cam Akers. The thing with that, JJ, though, is, well, luckily it went out of bounds technically, or the guy fell out of bounds. But man, there's no way Cam Akers was expecting that to be thrown to him. Like, that's tough to do. And he tried to jump on it, but
I was trying to be nice. Pathetic is
0. We do have 0 rushing touchdowns. We do. I thought Madison has a reception touchdown.
Yeah,
I think
right. Disgusting. That's a better word. Disgusting.
But that's not even just on Madison. Like, how are we in a position where, because Madison's big enough to get a freaking 1-yard touchdown, he should be able to get those all day, and we're never even in position to do that really with him.
Yeah, not
we are in the basement rushing wise. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Especially since we've been so spoiled
450
with running backs.
450 total rushing yards. Man.
It's not
There's
good.
Some running backs that have like a third or a quarter of that in one game.
There's quarterbacks. There's quarterbacks that have more than that right now in this season.
That's sad, man. That's sad.
But that's a big one, I do think. Moving forward, obviously, if there's optimism moving forward, I think we got to make some tough decisions. We got to see more Cam Akers. in the offense, because we do need, it does really feel with, especially with this conservative thing. That's one thing with Zimmer, is that even if we were, even Delvin Cook last year with KOC, if there's one thing, if we're playing conservative and we're just running too much, at least you could bank on one of those runs to break out for a long touchdown. And it's like with Madison, we can't even really expect that. So it's like, if we're going to run the ball, I mean, even to what you said, 17 yards was the most we've had this season.
Yeah.
That's what we kind of expect out of him, is he's not going to break one loose. So it's like, even if we're playing conservative by running the ball a little bit, or playing, or trying to play clock managers or whatever, we don't really got that chance of our guy just busting one out, which does, that also kind of sucks.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's, I mean, no matter which way you shake it, the offense, the team has been a disappointment. Like, the most exciting thing about this team is the defense right now. Cause it's like, after last year, we said it, anything was better. You improve a little bit and people are going to love it. And guess what? We've improved a little bit. The defense is fun to watch. We try things, but the offense almost is like the defense of last year, where it's just nothing big, just a bunch of little things. It just doesn't work out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got here, Dylan? Do you see the offensive rushing schemes where they have 2 running backs in the game and one is lined up as a fullback? Why not some deception like that? I'm shaking my head. Yeah, why not anything to be a little more creative? You know, and then I think Dave, Minnesota Sports Talk, said it earlier, that we usually follow up, like if we throw on first down, it's incomplete. Our next play is always a run. It's like a run up the gut. You know,
Yeah,
it's just, and like, but that's like. And like, how many times we try to give Matt, like, you know, some of the runs, I mean, obviously all runs are behind the line of scrimmage technically, but when we go like deep behind the line of scrimmage on some of those runs with Madison, it's just stupid. Like, he can't hit the hole when they're open initially. So like, you're giving him extra time to close up, and it's just, I don't know. Maybe we do need to see Kene. Like, I'm not the biggest Kene guy, but I do think that maybe we do need to see, because he is, you know, he does have that burst of explosiveness, but also so does Akers, and they traded for Akers, and we're not playing him, which is weird. I don't know.
I don't get why I don't know. I don't get why the one attempt, which is crazy, because Madison has just not lit the world on fire.
Right.
Unless you are like quiet tanking or something, but it doesn't feel like it.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe that's, we got to save Justin Jefferson from himself. But Coach, I'm fine. No, we got to save you from yourself. Sit on the bench.
Yeah.
That's Coach, I'm fine. Dude. No, you're not. Get on the bench, man. We're fine. Don't worry. We're good. You'll come back.
I mean, hopefully that's what happened, if that's the case. Hey, what up, Mateo? I want to personally apologize to Toby Gerhart. I called Madison Garrett 2.0. Toby wasn't as bad as Madison is. Yeah, the difference is I mean, Madison was already on the roster with Toby Gerhart. Did we trade Toby, or was he a free agent and the Jaguars went and picked him up, and they paid him too, right?
I thought we went into a season with him being our starter, didn't we?
I don't think so. No,
I know there was one season where he was
because we had Adrian Peterson for his entire. We had Adrian Peterson through his whole career, and we even had Adrian Peterson. We had Cook right after Adrian Peterson, I believe. I don't think we ever had Toby as our starter. I don't think so. But he might have not into a season, like not like the Madison. Anyways, he's probably started some games for us, but those stats you shared. Is it a bad thing that Kenny can run 100 yards in less than 15 seconds? Because he ran 13 seconds for a 99-yard touchdown against the Ravens.
Is it bad? No, it's super
fast. He's super fast. And that's what, I mean, I don't know what happened. It said he was healthy earlier in the week. Did he end up being inactive in this game, or was he activated? He wasn't playing kick return.
Is that accurate? Is that accurate, Joey? We need video proof.
And 15 seconds I don't run. All right. I want to see that, Joey. Yeah, we're most likely dead last in third downs and rushing. And that's the thing too about what you were saying, Justin was saying about the throwing it, or after throwing an incompletion and we run second down or whatever. It's like, we only do that when we are winning or it's like a tied game. Like, how come we can't just play like we're losing all the time and we're not just running the ball? Honestly, the play calling's perfect. Even the run calls, like we could be losing by a couple touchdowns and not have a tons of time left, and we'll still run the ball, and they're like perfectly timed runs. And it's like, we just only do that when we're down. We just cannot do it when we're up in these games.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
You got me
but
probably 30. You got me probably
would,
30 seconds.
you would almost think with the way that this live stream has gone that we lost this game yesterday, which is kind of ridiculous.
That's how we felt in Bleacher Report yesterday too.
But you're right. It was one of those wins where if you win like this, you're just sitting there like, okay, cool.
You barely beat a bad team, and you had an opportunity to change our minds. You had the opportunity to step on the gas pedal and go down and score on their heads. This game could have ended up being like 26-6, and that would have been great because all our fans have been asking for a game like that. Like I already said, since week 1 of last season, and that's like the disappointing
last year.
part.
We won 29-13.
What was how did that roll out again? Did we win? Was that the game that was like?
That was week
What's that?
18. That was week 18.
Oh, week 18. Yeah.
But no,
week 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside of week 18.
Definitely,
but yeah, no, we should have. It's just annoying that we could have done. Yeah, we could have smacked the Bears, and we just didn't do it. And I don't know. I don't know. Their play calling gets so conservative in those situations, and honestly, they're just trying not to lose, and those are the reasons why you lose. There's no reason why they should have came back anyways, even if we play conservative. But you did. You can't have 2, 3 and outs, and everybody blames. Not blaming, but the end of the game. I know there's a lot of people like, well, they let them run down the field or whatever. Well, the defense, was probably getting tired first off because our offense went out 2 and out right after we kind of changed the momentum there. So
yeah, and it's funny going back to when we were talking about the draft stuff earlier.
With 1 win combined,
we with both of our wins, we helped the Bears put the stranglehold on the number 1 and 2 overall pick. Think about that. We by beating Carolina, then beating them. We helped them out immensely in their quest.
I know that also hurts. That's gotta hurt too, right?
One of those things watching having to go against Marvin. If that's how it works out, to where we have to go against Caleb Williams and Marvin Harris.
What up, rap?
Be scary, man.
Skull. Yeah, we're just talking about the unimpressive win against Chicago.
Yeah, it's been almost.
Unfortunately, it's just one of those things where now you just feel the same. You feel like the same as we did before that game. Maybe we feel
4 draft spots.
Yeah, we lost 4 draft spots, and Chicago is even deeper into that second spot. Same with Carolina as well.
Yeah, and it actually is crazy how Kirk, for everything that's gone on this season, his worst games have come in our wins. It is crazy, and maybe that is we have a lead, so now we can just go into him and KOC are let's go into the shell, coach. We got this.
Yeah, I know.
It is weird. It is weird,
dude. It is a good point, and that's something you can say about, everyone wants to say everything possible about Kirk Cousins' stats, but it does say something for his worst games to be in our only 2 wins, and they're against the worst teams and probably the worst defenses he's played. So it's just a weird thing. Kirk Cousins has the ability to be a really good quarterback, but there's just inconsistencies there. There's just it's so hard to explain. It's so hard to explain Kirk Cousins. It's impossible. You try to all day long, and it's just it sounds dumb because you can't. They're well, look at all these stats, and it's just he just isn't that guy. I don't know how to explain it. Inconsistency, doesn't show up in big games. You say those things, and I don't know. You just have to watch them.
Right, but also in this draft, a tier 3 quarterback might not be the worst thing in the world. And I do want to reiterate with my feelings on Kevin O'Connell. Right, phenomenal leader. Phenomenal football coach. He knows the game of football. I've said this. I sound like a broken record. I say this all the time, but his offense is annoying. And unfortunately, you can because no matter what, even if he did take a step back and he didn't call plays and he was just the head coach, he would still instill the philosophy of offense and of the team. And right now, the philosophy of this team feels like play to your competition. If you have a lead, take your foot off the gas and play conservative. And that's the exact thing we didn't want with Zimmer. And unfortunately, we're getting it now with Kevin O'Connell. And I don't think he's going to be able to let his true leadership shine as head coach because he's going to be too yucked up by the way that he runs his offense. And another thing with that is eventually if you keep playing conservative and you keep doing what you're doing now, you can be a great leader, but eventually when they talk about the message getting stale, you're going to have players being like, okay, yeah, you talk and you talk and you talk about positivity and being your best when your best is required. We turn the ball over a bunch. We're not winning in big moments. Eventually the message is going to get stale. People will be like, okay, the positivity thing is kind of annoying when we keep losing. We shouldn't be losing like this, and you shouldn't need to come into these locker rooms saying these things. be better on offense, call better games, be more aggressive. Like eventually the team is going to get frustrated with it, sitting there listening to, and that's might be part of it. Like,
What
and
up,
I think
man?
because I think he understands, like, new day leadership, you do need to be a little softer. We won't get into that. That's a whole nother discussion for a different day. And I get it to an extent, but yeah, but for sure, his play calling it's so boring. But I do feel like if he does let Wes Phillips take over, it's going to be the same, because he's going to be the guy saying, here's the offense I want you to run. Now go do it. I don't know. That's why Zimmer never got along with Norv Turner or John DeFilippo, because they're like, throw the football, throw the football, throw the football. Where Zimmer is like, no, we got to run the ball. We got to be conservative with our play calling and let defense take over. And I don't think that's exactly the same with Kevin O'Connell, because I don't think he's like, we got to let the defense take over. But it's definitely not
He shouldn't be
gas
like
all
that
the time, and that's kind of
Well, we wanted an offensive. We wanted an
frustrating.
offensive-minded coordinator specifically for that reason, and it just hasn't. Like, we wanted it because we wanted to be aggressive on offense. That's what we were missing in KOC for an offensive mind. I mean, I agree. I mean, he just plays too soft, especially when it's like he's playing soft. He's being like, I don't know if it's like a sportsman, like being a good sport or whatever, but it's just like these moments where you have a chance to just dominate a team and then you pull off the gas in those moments. I don't like that. Like, that's what's too soft to me. And that's why I do respect, like, even Dan Campbell. Like, he does, I don't care if he's up by 20 points, he's still going to go for it on fourth down. And that's just something.
Or Mike McDaniel. Like,
yeah,
he's
Mike McDaniel.
One. He just goes all out.
It's stupid. It could be stupid. It could absolutely lose you a game, but at least you got the balls to do something like that. It's way better than being too afraid. I think being too aggressive, I think, is better than being too afraid.
Were you a Friends fan or no?
Friends?
Did you ever watch the show Friends?
I've seen like episodes here and there, but no, I never dive deep.
Okay, because like because there was this one thing, Chandler is always a fun-loving guy. He got a promotion to a management job, and someone pissed him off, and he just starts screaming at him over the phone, hangs it up, and he just goes like, he just steps back. He's like, whoa. Kevin O'Connell needs one of those moments where someone pisses him off to the point where he just unleashes, and he's just like, that was easy. I could do that all the time now. And then things just go up there. He needs that moment. He needs the moment that someone is just going to make him come out of his shell and just like, boom. Isn't it real? I mean, I don't think it's necessarily.
I think he's a great.
But
I do agree with Casey, leader, like where he's a good leader. But you just got to be like, let someone else be the play call. Like, I like how he handles the player. The players love him. I do think that's really important.
Right. Yes.
I think he does do a solid job at keeping players accountability, but it's really just a conservative play calling. Like, he's just weak in that sense.
But like, you almost feel like eventually that is going to find its way into the locker room where everybody feels that's just how the team is going to be,
Yeah. And it's just going to be one of those things too, is like, if it keeps happening, then we're going to want then we're going to want a Mike Zimmer coach again. And then it's going to, same thing's going to happen. We're going to want the opposite of that. I do want to hit on, who was it? Mateo or Mana? I forgot who it was, but just the idea of like putting Flores as head coach. And someone said something about our situation with Mike Tomlin, where we let him go and he ended up, if we would have just made him coach or whatever. We have many stories with like Tony Dungy and all that for Vikings history.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if this could be another example.
The Steelers guy, I think he was a coach on our
Mike Tomlin.
Cowher. Wasn't Cowher? I think someone corrected me. I think someone corrected me on this one already. I don't think that's true. But I thought we had another coach.
Yeah, Belichick the Belichick was at some point, but he was like a lower level, I believe, or something like that.
Control coach or whatever.
Yeah, but still, he was on your own. I don't know, but it could definitely be that situation because Flores is. I mean, he was already a proven head coach, and even he was on our list for sure of potential head coaches for the Vikings just before we got KOC. And I mean, that was a reason why we kind of liked the idea of Harbaugh, because Harbaugh isn't like that. I mean, he's an offensive coordinator, like offensive genius mind, but plus he does kind of have that sternness to him. There's some things about him, like maybe he's too much. Some players don't like him, whatever, which is fair. I do think with leadership these days, I think it's important to have a somewhat decent relationship with your players and stuff. Because we've seen what's the opposite of that with Mike Zimmer at the end of him being a head coach.
You got to find the happy medium. You really do got to find the happy medium.
Yeah, like maybe be that good leadership guy, and then you just let some badass people run the offense and the defense. Some people with a little bit of sternness to them or something. I don't know.
But again, because I mean, to be a head coach, you need to know the game, And I mean, that's the thing. It all starts with knowing the game, your knowledge of the game, and the philosophy you want to instill, which that was the biggest thing from the whole Zimmer Spielman, how it sounded like that went pretty south at near the end there. Like they wanted a head coach and a GM who come together and like bring a good culture. Cause that's what, I mean, honestly, like you see a lot of, you do need good culture to win. I mean, like it is important, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man, the pieces are there with all of it. You can tell because we've done it. We've seen it. The pieces are all there. It's just they're not getting put together. And that does come down to the head coach. And for some reason, it feels like the pieces aren't there because we're not just coming up in big moments when we need to. Like, and another thing is Kevin O'Connell's main thing has always been be your best when it's required. And I don't think we've done that this year. Not once have we been our best when we needed to.
And I would say like with the big moments thing, like it's not even so much that we can't come up in big moments. Cause even with KOC, like we do, like we come up in a lot of big moments, not so much this year, but last year, obviously, like a lot of big moments. It's just, it's not even as much as that. It's like, we can't come through when it's not a big moment. It's like the opposite. It's like when there's nothing on the line, we can't do anything with the ball. Like it's just, that's when it happens. Like we need something to be on the line. That's like the only way our offense runs the way it's supposed to, which is just annoying. Like you should just, I don't know. It just sucks. Like, I mean, it was such a good big example after being ahead of the Bears and having that opportunity to go and dominate this game and seeing us pull back the way we did.
Right. And that's why like, and people get it wrong. Like they think I'm coming to the defense of Kirk Cousins all the time. It's like the reason I don't want to put the blame on Kirk Cousins is because the general feeling is he's not going to be here next year. So like, and that's where I don't like the tank thing either. Because if you just decide to tank, then you're just giving up completely, which is why like I don't want to see that because I want to see Kevin O'Connell grow. I want us to go into that new quarterback next year and be like, we have the right leadership around him to push him in the right direction. So that's the reason that I'm so harsh on Kevin O'Connell, because I do think he has a bright future in the league. He's going to be a good football coach. We all know that. But if you want to be an offensive coordinator as well, then you're going to have to really put in the time and step everything up. And it's just not working right now. So
yeah, I know.
Exactly. That's the thing. I think, and for sure, the feeling is that they're not going to fire Kwesi or Kevin O'Connell because I do think they are going to give them their shot to draft a quarterback.
And if we grab a quarterback, which hopefully we do, you grab one that is probably a little bit more uncareful with the football. Like you want a guy who takes a little bit too much risks, and hopefully KOC can just bring a no. You bring
put it that way.
No, I do, because you want to have KOC bring that guy down, someone that maybe takes a little bit too much risk, unlike Kirk Cousins.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Instead of like a Kirk Cousins player who already doesn't take enough risks, so now you just got two guys that are too conservative mindset type of guys. But if you go get it like a guy like Caleb Williams who wants to dodge 10 tackles and throw with his left hand 50 yards down the field or whatever. Like if you bring a guy in like that and KOC can kind of calm him down, like that's what you kind of need. I feel like you need that mix. You need
someone seeing from both sides to try to
bring him down. So I think if KOC does get a guy, you want someone who's aggressive and willing to take a little bit of risk, and then maybe KOC can even him out a little bit instead of getting another guy who's conservative type of play style.
Mm-hmm. And actually, because that's what they were talking about last night during the game, Collinsworth was talking about it. I see Mateo's thing here with Josh Allen, is he mentioned that. It's like, that's one of the things that they tried to get Josh Allen not to do, is they said, like, we don't need you to make the wow plays all the time. We just need you to do what you do in this offense, and you're good at it. So, like,
Josh Allen would be a great example of
the guy who's going to run around and get hurt and leap over people and do all this stuff. It's like, just be a quarterback and use those abilities to help you if you need to, but learn how to play the position more than do.
That's what KOC needs, a guy like Josh Allen. He needs someone that he can just bring down. He has to bring down a little bit. We can't rely on at this point. Like it just seems like KOC is just going to be, his play calling is just going to be like that. I don't know.
And maybe it isn't. Maybe O'Connell is just being like extra nice just because he has to, because he knows Kirk is like, he's like, I'm almost done with this guy. Maybe he is sick of it. Who knows? Maybe he's just like, I need somebody else, man. I need somebody else here.
Optimistic. We're getting pretty optimistic in here now. What up, Justin?
But anyway, I don't know. At the end of the day, the Vikings are 2-4.
I know, 2-4. Hey, we won, guys. Woo! Winners. Let's go.
I think we mentioned the word win when we weren't, like, other than our winners and losers thing. I think we mentioned like winning once or twice in this entire live stream.
It sounds like
we lost. It sounds like a team a fan base that just lost like their 6th straight game, and they're just like, whatever, we'll just talk about what's going wrong here and there.
I know.
And
Well,
whatever.
we're in we're in that in between spot where it's like not all hope is lost, but we're also like leaning towards like, do we focus on draft picks or whatever? Like we're in that spot. Like we don't know what to do as fans, and we never can do anything in a game to like, we lost to the Bears to be like, all right, obviously we got to sell. If we beat the 49ers, it's like, okay, now we really got hope. And it's just like this weird thing with that, or if we lose to 49ers, we're in the same spot as we are today. And it's just like the same thing. And it's, I don't know, it's just a weird spot to be in. And we're just sitting in there as Viking fans, and you don't know what to do. Do you want to give us hope? Do you want to lose? And then at the same time, like you mentioned earlier, we let the two teams we beat were Carolina and the Bears, which are giving Bears the first 2 picks. So it's just like, it's like an extra shot in our foot as far as like these wins can't even be completely enjoyable just for the fact that helps the Bears.
If we did love Drake May enough to trade up to 2 to grab him, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't trade us the pick. They would just trade it to somebody else to jump the Broncos.
Yeah, I know. That's why we can't have
be like, no, we're just going to take Marvin Harrison and let that number 3 team take Drake May. Well, we're fine. Like,
yeah,
we're really shooting ourselves in the foot here, unfortunately, if you look that far ahead. But I still want to see growth this season. That's kind of what I want. But everything that we just said in the last like 2 minutes all equals out to 8 and 9, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about when we talked about this after the
it does feel like it's coming, that's for sure.
After the Carolina game, I think, or maybe when he started 0-3, I don't remember, but we talked about it where I'm just like, probably there's people who want us to, there's people who think we're trash and we're going to have like 3 wins. And then there's people who have all these hope that, hey, we can still be a playoff team and stuff. And it was just like, man, starting off this way, it just really feels like we're going to be a 8 and 9. Like the worst case scenario for us is to be 8 and 9. Is to barely miss playoffs and have a mid-round pick like we do every single year.
Right. Absolutely, Dylan. We try our best, even if the faith is technically talking about what may happen next year, but it kind of is what it is at this point. But
hey, it's not our fault. It's not our fault.
Right. Anything else before the giveaway and we hop off here?
Let's put this giveaway up. I know JJ's been waiting patiently. Let me get this. All right, we got 10 entries. Everybody, again. Can you put it in the better mode here, Casey?
I sure can.
Again, another Justin Jefferson rookie card. Hashtag skulls in the comments. Again, once we get to 1,000, we're giving away these Daniil Hunter auto.
Sarah came just for the giveaway today.
Oh, Sarah's there now. Hey, Sarah. Actually, no, I popped in. Was it last night? Sarah was in on a. She was in Yogi's in their podcast for a little bit, I think. That's cool. There's JJ. This is JJ's strategy.
Blowing up the chat rate, which is good. I think
that's good. Keep it coming. I don't know. Keep it coming. JJ isn't excited at all. How many we got right now? We got 14 entries.
14. We have 12 viewers and 14 entries.
Oh, so JJ, you switching to new accounts? You switching on to other accounts here. All right. We'll let this go. Obviously, of course, just like every show, you got to be here to win. All right, let's run this thing. Let's see if this works for JJ. It worked once. We'll see if it works again. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Who we got? Got to be here to win. And we've got boom. Gary,
let's go.
Gary.
What's going on, Gary?
Gary said he's gonna light it up here soon.
Gary might have more card wins this year than the Vikings have victories, unfortunately.
JJ's just no. Gary, are you in here?
I mean, even if he isn't.
Yeah, no, Gary, you got to be in. You know the rules.
You got to be in to win, man. Not even the number one. Not even GG Sports Podcast #1 fan gets a pass.
There he is. What's going on? There he is.
All right.
Congrats, Papa Gary.
Over to you, man. All right. Anything else before we call it a night? Vikings are 2-4. They did get their first divisional win, which is always nice. I
mean, we'll be here Wednesday to talk probably about this game coming up. Send to JJ. Nah, I think JJ is good. JJ, you good on that card?
You don't want it, do you? Why would he want it?
I don't think he wants it enough. I don't know. He's not giving me the vibes where he really wants this card. Moving forward, I don't know, going into this 49, yeah, Wednesday we'll probably talk about a little bit more, but going into this 49ers game, obviously if we get the upset, it'll be another that's definitely a boost of hope if that does happen. If we lose, if we get smacked, well, that's definitely not looking good. If we barely lose, whatever. If we lose this game, we're going to be in the same position as we are in today. Probably with no different feelings, because I think it's expected for us to lose this game. But now I got you, JJ. Don't worry. I got you.
We'll also have to see with the injuries that the 49ers are going through right now with McCaffrey. I guess it's an oblique, and I don't know exactly what it is on what it is for Debo.
I have a feeling he isn't going to play. It sounds like Debo and who else was it? Debo and I forgot who else was injured.
McCaffrey?
Trent Williams.
Oh, him too.
Yeah, they're day to day.
McCaffrey's actually kind of.
Yeah, but Debo's been day to day, and he's ever since he got that first injury, it seems like they've been using him more as a decoy, anyways. So appreciate it, Barber. Appreciate it.
We try. Hopefully in the not next Monday, but the Monday after, hopefully there'll be a new backdrop when I move into my house officially and set up my office space. Hopefully. I actually got some Viking stuff to hang on the wall behind me now instead of a table and then my cat's litter box and nobody can see because my chair's in the way. So it'll be good.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that. But all right, everybody, thanks for hopping in here. We'll see what this season
brings. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. We'll see you next time. I'm sorry, I had to.
Let's go Vikes.